It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Lenior Rhyne head softball coach, Shena Hollar. How are you doing today?
How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in college softball?
Probably my fifth year at Wingate. I was doing my student teaching, and then the coach said, "Hey, come help with practice some when you had some free time." So I spent some time with that, and then also I was a manager for the women's basketball team, and they were really, really good. So that may have sparked my interest, just going into coaching. Because once I did my student teaching, I knew that I didn't want to teach.
What was your playing experience like at Wingate and putting on that Wingate jersey?
It was good. I played volleyball for 2 years and played softball for 4. And, my last 2 years I didn't play volleyball, but the first 2 years at Wingate, we were not very good. We had a coach that was a sports information director, and then we got a new coach my junior year, and I can't remember if it was my junior year or my senior year. We actually won the conference. So my last 2 years we were good. We were solid. Nobody. We didn't have like any All-Americans. We were just a solid team and played good fundamental softball.
What was that like? Obviously, as you said, you were a dual athlete.
Just busy. And, college is always fun. And you're getting to play 2 sports. And then, like I said, I did the basketball manager thing. So it was a great experience to go to Wingate. I love my time at Wingate. So that's it's been like 28 years. So I just know that I really enjoyed it.
What was it like getting your first start in coaching at Newberry?
I spent 2 years at Newberry. Also there, I did coach volleyball and softball. So we went and got a lot of dual athletes that played volleyball and softball. Was not as successful as in volleyball as I was softball. So, I was young then. Spent a lot of time coaching because it was a year-round thing to do dual athletes and do the volleyball and softball thing.
Of course, during your time at Newberry, what was that like going to the regional championship in '99?
It was good. We had one pitcher that she was a senior and she kind of carried her. Name was Angela Folweiler. She's in South Carolina now, but she was our mainstay. And I do remember to start that year, we went like 0-10 or 0-12, and then we won like 15, 16, 18 in a row to go to that championship and do that. And then we made it to the championship game and the conference tournament. So we were a solid team that year. We were good. Like I said, if we hadn't started out so slow, we would have probably had a better record. I think we finished 28-28 and won a conference championship. So that was pretty cool. And it was all on the kids that's what they wanted to do. And they played really hard that year.
What was the feeling like when you came to Lenior Rhyne for the first time and became head coach?
It was good. It was like I'm from like 20 minutes from Hickory. So I'm like, to get the opportunity to come back to where I was from and was really good to be close to my family and getting back to Lenior Rhyne. So I knew Lenior Rhyne. I went to basketball camp when I was younger. So I knew what it was about, but it was great to be able to. I think it was like fall of '99 to come in and start and know that I only had to coach softball, which was really good. And then I had two seniors that were really driven, and during the interview process they said, okay, we want to win a championship. I'm like, well, we'll play hard, but we actually did win a championship that year. So Tracy Hyman said, we're going to win a championship, and she put us on her back, and we got some good recruits that year. And so that was really good to come in my first year and to be able to win a championship for those seniors.
How's it been like obviously coaching so close to your hometown of Lenoir Rhyne?
It's nice. My mom and dad, my family can come watch. Know a lot of people in the community, so that's a good draw. And then also, Alexander County, where I'm from, they people coming and watching. So it's good. So I've been here for almost 25 years since Newberry. So just it's a tight knit place, and I think it's a family thing to be able to go every day and have people come watch you play.
What is it like, obviously, knowing that you have 13 national tournaments appearances at Lenoir Rhyne?
It's great. You kind of say, oh man, 13 out of like 15 or 16. So what are the other 3 years that we didn't get to experience that with our student athletes? But it's a great accomplishment to be able to play in May, and we talk about that a lot during the year. You want to play in May, you want to play at regionals, you want to go to super regionals, and it's a great experience for our student athletes to be able to go to regionals and experience that, and at the end of the year. So it's really good to say that we've been to 13. It helps with the recruiting process, that kids want to come play on a winning team, and know that there's a really good chance that they will get to play in the NCAA tournament at the end of the year.
Of course, as you talked about regionals, what was that like in 2010 and 2011 going to the super regionals?
It was awesome. We went to North Georgia, went back-to-back years, and I look back at pictures, and those 2010 and 2011 teams, those kids were good. Like we were stacked. We had a lot of really good softball players then. And the second year we went, no excuses, but the umpires were so bad that year. We had a gentleman that he was really bad behind the plate, and in my opinion, I think he cost us going to the World Series. But kids played hard on both those times, and going to super regionals is just awesome. And that you're one step closer to going to the College World Series, and that's that's the ultimate goal, to be able to do that.
Of course, during your coaching career, have you ever went close enough to the College World Series, or was that the only time?
That was the only time. Those 2 years, we were a game away from going to the World Series. Yeah.
What has it been like, obviously, trying to get back to that moment of being close to the College World Series?
It's about, I think, having a solid team, but being hot at the end of the year. So, with our SAC conference tournament, can you peak at that time? Can you play well at that time? Are you really hot during late April that could carry you into regionals and super regionals? And then having a talented team, and for at any level, pitching is the key. Do you have one or two really good pitchers that can carry you at the end of the year and win those games? Because at that time, it's going to be close games, it's going to be one-run games, and if you have good pitching and good defense, you got a chance to go to the World Series.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've built for Lenoir Rhyne's softball program?
The culture here, very family oriented. We do a lot. They do a lot of stuff together. We do during the fall. We try and build that family culture. We have a lot of North Carolina girls. Probably 90% of my roster are North Carolina girls, and so their families get to come watch them play during the year. But family's a big thing, and then we're going to work hard, and we're like that blue collar team that's going to work hard and win ball games by working hard and playing hard. It's kind of who we are.
Of course, with talking about having 99% in North Carolina, what has that been like, obviously, having most of your team in the North Carolina area?
I think it's good. If you look, fast pitch started in high schools in North Carolina, probably 1999, 2000. So the game has grown tremendously in North Carolina, and there's a lot of talent in the state that you can out recruit and can go and pick and choose North Carolina kids. So that's a win-win for us to be able to get kids that are local, kids that are in state. That's a really good thing.
What does a typical game day look like at the Rhine?
A typical game day. For me, we're a smaller school, so me and my assistant are out at the field usually hour and a half before the girls get there. We have to get the field lined off, prep everything, make sure it's ready. The girls, they're doing their typical go to class, grab some lunch really quick, and get out to the field 2 hours before game time. They're getting there. They all have duties. You got to have flags hung and mats out and equipment out. So everybody has a duty on game day, whether it's me, whether it's them, and then ready to go about an hour and a half before it's time. It's cage time, an hour and a half before game time.
Who are some teams that you face in your conference?
There's Our conference is really strong from top to bottom. It's from when I first started, there might have been one or two really good teams, but now top 6, 7, 8 teams are good. If you look at last year and the year before, there's only 1 to 2 game difference, 3 game difference between the 8th spot and the first spot. But Lincoln Memorial, they've been really good the past 2 years. Wingett's a big rival for me just from going there in the conference, and they should have a good year this year. And then also Carson Newman, who's always been a mainstay in the top of our conference. So those are 3 teams that I look to have really good years this year.
Of course, what is that like always getting to play your alma mater of Wingate?
Well, the coach that I played for is not there anymore, and then they've been through 2 coaches since I've been here. But it's always a big rival for me and the girls too, because I think they know a lot of my team knows a lot of players on that team, so it's a good rival to play Wingate.
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to play college softball?
For us, we do a lot of recruiting in the southeast to go watch kids play and just sending correspondence and then sending us correspondence. But summertime's a really big time. Then we host college prep camps during the summer. So just getting those kids to attend camp and us see them out there in the summer playing their travel schedule and looking at kids that way.
What are some of the things that you look at in these prospective student athletes when you're out on the road?
When we're out recruiting during the summer, we look a lot for positions that we need. So if we need a pitcher one year, if we need a catcher, a shortstop, second. So that's probably our first step. What positions do we need to fill the next class? And then, are those kids athletic? Can they throw? Are they fast? Can they hit? Can they run? What are our softball skills like? And then academics also. So for us, academics is a big thing. For packaging, we need smart kids, and we need kids that can play softball.
Of course, what does the official visit look like for those prospective student athletes when they are at the Rhine?
We typically do official visits on when we have a home football game, which is a great experience because our football team has a really good program and they pack the stands. So we're getting tours, they're meeting our players. Pre-COVID, they got to spend, they would get to spend the night in the dorms with their future teammates and see them. So it's a fun, enjoyable day. Watch a football game, or if there's a basketball game, if it's a little bit later in the season. But that's, what a typical official visit looks like. Just getting to meet the teammate and getting a good feel for me on those days.
How is that like, obviously getting to see those prospective student athletes put on that Lenior Rhyne red and black jersey and feel at home in that jersey?
It's good. Like game days are the best. If you see a freshman come in and they make a great play or they hit a home run, you're excited for them because you know that all the hard work they've put in the fall and preseason has paid off and they're doing really well. So it's really nice when those kids succeed.
What are some of your future plans for the softball program moving forward?
Future plans? We Tim Pay, our athletic director, we have architecture drawn up for a new stadium, which will be really, really nice in the near future. We hope within the next 5 years that we could start that process. And then actually for the team, can we get Can we go to super regionals? Can we go to the World Series and compete at that level? So that's where we'd like to be. That's where, direction we're headed.
Of course, what advice would you give those high school athletes looking to play college softball?
But what was the first of the question?
What advice would you give those high school athletes looking to play college softball?
Play travel summer ball, email, send videos to the college coaches. So stay in contact with the college coaches, get on campus, attend those summer camps that the teams are, that whatever sport they're interested in, attend those summer camps on campus, and just getting to know their program and getting to know their coach. So connection is a big thing, I think, with kids these days.
What advice would you give those college softball players looking to go professionally, whether it's Athletes Unlimited, the MPF, or obviously other routes?
You have to be really good. You have to be really good to play at that next level. And that opportunity is really small because you've got all those D1 players playing there. But if you're good and you can play at our level, I think you can play on those teams also. So just getting some connections and getting connected with somebody that can get you in for a tryout. But those players are really good.
What advice would you give those future college coaches and even those college athletes looking to become coaches?
To learn the game and know the game, and just it's a long process, and it's a day-to-day grind, and it's going to be softball 24/7 whenever, if you want to be a college coach. And there's not a lot of time off, but when you do get time off, then you need to. It's a lot of time.
What advice would you give those head coaches looking to get started?
Try and get your foot in the door with it as a GA program. If you can be a grad assistant or a volunteer assistant somewhere, that's the best way to get your foot in the door. You can start small and then wish big or want to be big time after that. But just getting your foot in the door with a program.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with Lenior Rhyne's softball program at?
We're on Instagram, Lenior Softball on Instagram. They're on Twitter, but we don't use Twitter as much. But I'm also on Twitter, at Shena Hollar. So that's a lot. And then we also have Facebook to use that. But our Bear Sports is a really good. They have a really good Instagram page that has a lot of information. Also on the web, you can go lrbears.com, go to softball and check us out that way.
Thank you again, Shena Hollar, for your interview, and best of luck in your future in this upcoming year.
Thank you, Brandon.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Shena Hollar, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.